Hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video on Space Engineers. My name is Moimus, and today I want to show you how you can build your own orbital strike rocket platform, which we can use to destroy targets on the planet's surface, or actually this moon's surface. You can see I've already set up a target, which is called Satellite Control Center, and an area surveillance system, which we're going to use to mark our target and fire the rockets at. In the first part of the video, I'm going to show you how to build the platform itself. And in the second part, I'm going to show you which components we use on the rocket, so you can build your own rockets. And in the third part, I'm gonna explain how the script, which runs the whole system, works. But don't be afraid, it's not that complicated. It's just, let me guess, 30 lines of script, and it's all quite simple. And I've got a couple of other videos on scripting, so you can take a look at them if you don't understand how the script works. But first things first, let's take a look at our rocket platform and the components we use on it. Obviously we got an antenna, so we can connect to the platform's remote control from the moon's surface. We got some decouplers, which is quite obvious why we need them, because we have to decouple the rockets before launching them, otherwise the whole platform flies into the moon, and we don't want that. Then we got this remote control. Important part about this remote control is it has to face in the same direction as the rockets, because the platform itself aims the rockets, and the rockets have no aiming system, which means they are basically dumbfire rockets, which are just aimed by the platform and fired straight at the target. Then we got this timer block, which is needed to start the whole decoupling and launch process. And we got a programmer block, which contains the script which controls the firing delay of our rockets and stuff like that. Yeah, basically it's just firing delay, because we don't need that much scripting on this one. It's actually quite simple. Okay, yeah, that's it about the platform. Obviously we got some other components like thrusters to control the position and stuff like that. Okay, but let's take a closer look at the individual components, and I think we start with the remote control, because this is one of the most important parts about the platform. Let's see, where's the remote control? There it is. There are a couple of things you need to be aware of when building this thing. First, it has to be the main remote control, and you have to uncheck the control thrusters box, because we don't want the platform to actually move. We just want it to control the gyroscope on it, so it can, yeah, aim itself. Let's see. Next part is autopilot. Turn that to off initially. Yeah, waypoints has to be set to one way, not patrol or anything. Because the why is that like this? You're gonna see later. But I think it's obvious. We don't want to circle it between some waypoints or patrol, because the platform is just used to aim the rockets, as I said before. Yeah. We don't need this waypoint, so I think we can remove it. It's just from a testing run. Okay, that's it about the remote control. Let's take a look at the timer block. Where is it? I think it's called rocket launch or something like this. Ah, launch all. There it is. Yeah, here you have to change nothing. You can put the delay on whatever delay you want. If you want the rockets to fire 30 seconds after you submitted the command, just set it to 30 seconds. If you want them to be launched instantly, set it to 1 second. I put it to, let's say, 30 seconds, so we got a little time before the rockets launch. Let's take a look at the actions. As you can see, the programmer block triggers not that much, just the programmer block. Set that to run with the default argument, because the programmer block has only one responsibility, and that is setting the timer on the rockets, but we get to that later. And yeah, it turns off the decouplers, which are merge blocks, yeah, to decouple the rockets. Is there something else? Let's see. No, I think that's all. Okay, let's leave this. And now we get to the rockets. The rockets are quite simple. We only have a hydrogen tank and some thrusters. And inside the rocket we got a single reactor and some warheads, which are our payload to deliver on the target. And yeah, of course we got a merge block here to connect the rocket to the launch platform. Okay, let's take a look. And of course we got some timer blocks. One timer block to fire the rockets and one timer block to arm the warheads. The first timer block to decouple the rockets is used to decouple the rockets, obviously, but the special thing about it is it's controlled by the programmer block on the platform, which sets the delay so we don't start all rocket at once, because when we do that, the risk of the rockets crashing into each other is just too big, so we launch them one by one with a delay of 2 seconds. But more about that later. You'll understand why we're gonna do this and how we're gonna do this when we get to the programmer block script. Yeah, but let's take a look at the components of the rocket. Okay, first we got the warheads, which are unarmed, of course. Then we got the rocket timer. This one is called rocket launch. Keep that in mind, how it's called, because we're gonna need that later, that name. Yeah, let's take a look at the actions. But first talk about the delay. Delay is not important, because as I said, it's controlled by the programmer block. You can set it to 1 hour and it's effectively not used, or not user controlled. So you can put it to whatever you want and it has no effect at all on the rocket's behavior. But let's take a look at the actions. This timer block just turns on the forward thruster and starts the arm warheads timer. The arm warheads timer is this one. It has a delay of 9 seconds. You can set that to whatever you want, but I have experienced that 9 seconds is pretty good, because if the rockets have a pretty short flight, it can happen that the warheads aren't armed when they reach the target, and that's pretty bad because they simply don't explode and break. Yeah, let's take a look at the actions. As you can see, this timer block simply arms the warheads, and that's all we want. And yeah, basically that's it. Yeah, we got the hydrogen tank, the thrusters, the reactor, as I said, and pretty important is this thruster. If you build a rocket, please do yourself a favor and turn it off before increasing the thrust override, otherwise your rockets will blast off into space, and that's pretty bad because we have to start again. Yeah, but as you can see, it's turned to maximum override. So the rocket speeds up as quickly as possible and gathers enough speed to crash into the target before the defense systems of our target are able to shoot it down. Yeah, well, basically that's it about the rocket. You can build it whatever you like. I chose this design because I think it looks quite nice. And yeah, that was the second part of our video. Okay, let's continue with the scripting part. Now it's get a little bit uncomfortable because a lot of people don't like scripting. I love it. But don't be afraid, this is not very hard. Yeah, first we got our main method, which is run by the timer block on the platform, as I mentioned before. And well, what does it? It simply calls the launch method. Yeah, well, we got this get merge and get rocket launch timer methods. I'm not gonna explain how these work. If you're interested how they work, I've got a short video on red alert systems which use similar methods, which are basically the same, with the little difference that we don't use imaship merge blocks or timer blocks, but text panels and some other types, and there are some small differences, but they're basically the same. What these methods do is they get stuff like all our decouplers on the platform and the rocket, and they get all the timers called rocket launch on our rockets. Because we want to why we want to do that, it's pretty simple, and you'll see that in this method called launch. This is where all the magic happens. So let's go through it line by line, and I'm pretty sure you will understand how this works. But it's not important, just copy and paste it and build the platform like I did and it will work. What is important when you build the platform itself, you have to name your blocks like I did, because the script filters the block by their name, like rocket launch. This guarantees that the script only uses the block it should use, and not some other blocks like a timer of a ship connected to the platform, and we don't create a huge mess of timer blocks. So as I said, it filters by the name, and you should name your blocks according to the script or change the script itself. But the easier way is to name the blocks correctly in the beginning. Anyway, let's continue with our launch method. As I said, this is where all the magic happens. So, in the first line, we get the timer blocks of the rocket, which control the rocket's thrust. And we set a variable of type float, which is just a number with a comma, basically set. There's something more to it, but all you need to know is a float is a number with a comma. Okay. After that, we iterate through all the timer blocks we got in this line with a simple for loop. If you don't know how that works, simply look in the C# documentation of Microsoft. It's pretty easy. But I don't want to explain that now, because that are C# basics, and I'm implying that you know at least a little bit C# before watching this tutorial. Anyway, let's continue. As I said, we iterate through the whole list of the rocket launch timers, and now you'll see why it is not important to which value the delay of our rocket launch timers is set, because it's set here. As you can see, we use the nth timer block in this list, and we set the trigger delay, which is the delay you can set in the UI with the timer block slider, and set it to this number. Which means the first timer block in this list gets a delay of 2 seconds. After that, this value is increased by 2, which means the next time block in this list will have a delay of 4 seconds. And after that, we apply the action start, which means the countdown runs, and that means the first rocket timer will have a delay of 2 seconds, the second will have a delay of 4 seconds, the third will have a delay of 6 seconds, and so on. And why we want to do this is so the rockets launch one after another, so they don't crash into each other. Okay, well, that's it about the script. It's not that much, and I think it's quite easy. If you got any questions, please post them in the comments. I try to answer all of them, but if it's pretty complicated, I can't simply answer them, because under certain circumstances this will take more than a YouTube comment. But anyway, if you got any questions, just ask them, and if I can't answer them directly, I'll tell you. But I think we should continue with our video. Okay, before we actually fire the rockets, we do a little test fire, and I explain the process which you have to do to fire the rockets from the platform. To do that, I marked a location over there, so we don't destroy our test target on accident. Okay, what you have to do is we press K, go to remote access, and select the terminal option for our rocket array. And now we want to select the remote control. Make sure everything is set up correctly. Remove the old waypoint because we don't need that anymore. And now we add our test waypoint. Okay, now all you have to do is turn the autopilot on, which means the platform aims itself. You have to do that manually because of a weird bug. It doesn't work from the programmer block every time, so I basically do that manually because I can be sure everything is lined up correctly and we will fire the rockets straight at the target and not in a random direction. Okay, after that happened, all you have to do is go to remote access again and select the launch all timer. Okay, now we start the timer and wait until the delay is over. And now you should see how the program block does its magic once the timer is depleted. Okay, as you can see, now the decouplers are disconnected and the rockets are fired with a little delay. They're not quite accurate, for obvious reasons. They are dumbfire rockets, and most of the times they hit, some don't. Sometimes they crash into each other, but they are pretty cheap rockets and that's okay. If you want to build smart rockets, which can find the way to their target on their own, just add a programmer block on them and use the same aiming system as we used on the platform, which means the rockets will do basically the same and are way more accurate. I should have mentioned that before I get this far in the video, but actually this system isn't quite accurate. It's pretty comfy to use it for orbital bombardments where you want to destroy a huge area or just scare your enemies, or to destroy targets which are pretty well defended. But there are better weapon systems, but I thought it would be cool to have an orbital strike rocket platform, because I always wanted that. But anyway, let's go to the planet's surface and test fire the rocket array from the surface. By the way, I set the maximum speed to 300 meters per second, which means the rockets work even better, because the turrets on the ground have even less time to react and shoot down the rockets. Yeah, but let's go to our test setup. Okay, here we are. As you can see, we got the laser designator. I used that in one of my previous videos. And we got this little scout vehicle, which we're gonna use to control the laser designator. We're just out of the reach of the turrets. But they're friendly anyway, because I want to show you how everything looks, and it's pretty annoying if the turrets are constantly destroying my scout vehicle, my laser designator, and so on. But I assure you, the rockets are so fast, the turrets have not enough time to react to shoot all of them down. Yeah, well, basically we got a little base here with a satellite control center and some buildings for parking vehicles or something like that, and turrets. And otherwise it would be quite difficult to attack this base, because the turrets would wreck nearly any vehicle that gets near them, and our little scout vehicle wouldn't stand a chance. So we're just out of the reach of the turrets. And put up our laser designator, and we're hidden here behind this hill. And let's get into the vehicle and set the target for our rockets. We use the ASS, which means Area Surveillance System. No, the name isn't funny, in my opinion, at least. And we need to control the remote control on the laser designator. Well, let's see, where's that control? Okay. And now we got control of the laser designator and can mark our target. Looks quite good. I think I aligned this earlier, so we just have to hit 7, and now we should have some coordinates on our laser designator UI. Okay, the scan failed, so we have to do that again, or maybe adjust the designator a little bit. I think that's too much. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Let's scan a couple of times, just to be sure we get a coordinate. Let's see, there's the UI. Oh, yeah, as you can see, we got some XYZ coordinates for our target. I write them down real quick. 4, 9, 1, 6. We don't need the whole number, because the rockets aren't that accurate, as I said before, and it's enough to write them to the dot. 3, 5, 6, 5 minus 1, 8, 9, 4, 9. Okay. Let's switch back to our scout vehicle. And create a new coordinate. Let's call it target. And enter the coordinates from our laser designator. 4, 9, 1, 6, 3, 5, 6, 5, minus 1, 8, 9, 4, 9. Okay. Now we got the coordinates. Let's check that again, just to be sure. Where's the camera? There, laser camera. View. Yeah, I think that's okay. That should be close enough. Okay. Now we switch to our rocket array. Well, which one is the correct one, because one has no rockets. Let's see, just go to the terminal. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that has some rockets. You can see this just by looking for the warheads, because if the rockets are already gone, you have no warheads, obviously. Okay, now we just need to enter the coordinate to our remote control. Remove this and add the target. Okay, that looks good. Activate the autopilot to line it up to the target. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Don't know. God damn it, this is so buggy. Oh my god, it won't turn on. God damn it, that's annoying. I don't really want to do another take on this one. Yeah, well, what can we do to make this work again? Let's reset everything. Target, add, and the autopilot won't turn on for whatever reason. Let's control, leave. Connect again. Ah, now it works. Oh, that's the wrong platform. Great. God damn it. That's so freaking annoying. Don't say the F word on YouTube, or you get banned maybe. Usually only demonetized, and because I don't have any monetization, I could say the bad words, but I don't want to risk anything. I think we have to give up control again. Let's see. That's the wrong one. Select this one. That's this again. God damn it, that's so annoying. Remote control. Yeah, it's broken. It's broken. The remote control is broken for whatever reason. I think we do a quick cut here, and I'm back again once I fixed that. I'm just gonna replace the remote control because that one seems broken for whatever reason. And I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back again. I'm terribly sorry, I don't know why that happens sometimes, but I think the toggle function of the remote control is broken somehow on a certain circumstances they just don't work. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just stupid and do stupid mistakes, but I think it's a bug. I don't know if it really is. Maybe I'm just stupid. Okay, but let's see if we can get this to work now. By the way, I removed the second rocket array because that was quite annoying. Yeah, but first get to the camera of our laser designator so we can see how the rockets hit. Let's just turn off the UI. And okay, remote control. Remove the old coordinate. Add the new coordinate. Okay, and turn the autopilot on. If we are lucky, this time it works, and it works. You can see our target waypoint, and now we just wait a little bit so the platform has enough time to line itself up to the target. And after that, all we have to do is select the, where is it, the launch all. There it is. 2 seconds delay is okay, I guess. And start the timer. And now we wait for the rockets to hit our target. Hopefully. Sometimes they miss, but most of the time they hit quite acceptable. They do at least some damage to the target. And if they hit the target, they completely destroy everything they hit. So they make pretty big holes. But I think I forgot to set the timer on the rockets this time for the warheads to arm, so I think they will just crash on the ground. But you can see, oh, this one was activated, good. And it actually hit the target. Great. This one doesn't explode, for whatever reason. And as you can see, we hit the target. So let's go outside and take a look at the damage we've done. As I said, the turrets are friendly actually, so we can inspect the damage the rockets have done. And yeah, you can see this one worked with the warheads, but for a weird reason this turret stayed intact and floats in the air now. Thanks, space engineers, for that weird bug. And here we got a pretty nice big hole into the roof of this building. But I think I'm gonna rearm the platform real quick, and this time I set the arming timer of the rockets to a lower delay, so the rockets actually explode. Let's see in a second. Okay, we're back again on the planet's surface. I rearmed the platform in the meantime. And now I'm gonna set the rocket timers to, no, not the rocket timers, where do we get them? Oh, actually they are set. Yeah, oh, I forgot I already did that while in orbit. So I think we just launched them again for some fun. I think it's pretty fun just to launch the rockets, because maybe it gives me a feeling of power. A psychologist would probably say I'm some kind of a sociopath or something like that, because I enjoy dropping rockets on innocent civilians. But I say, f off and die. Yeah, well, let's see. Rocket timers, oh no, I actually don't know how my own stuff works. Okay, let's see, there's an old waypoint, remove that, put the target in, and activate the autopilot. Hey, it works, great. And now the launch all timer. Theoretically, we can launch a single rocket, but I want to launch all. No, that won't work. Don't do that, don't listen to me. If you do that, you'll probably crash the platform into the target, which is quite funny, I guess, but we're not going to do this now. Okay, yeah, let's simply start and wait for the rockets to arrive. Hopefully we hit the satellite dish this time, because I think that it would look great if a rocket would blast off the dish right off the building. I think that would be quite funny. I'm sorry you have to wait this long, but 10 kilometers is a pretty long way. Oh, that looks good. I think we got a direct hit on one of the buildings. And some of the rockets aren't exploding. I don't know why that happens, but it happens every time. If you crash an armed warhead into the ground, they should explode, but sometimes they simply won't. I don't know why. If someone has a solution to this problem, I'd be really grateful if you'd post that in the comments. And well, yeah, we got not a direct hit, but we blew a really big hole in the middle of the base. And let's see where the target coordinate is. Yeah, as you can see, our target coordinate is here, and the rockets hit here and here. I think that's an acceptable accuracy, but obviously the accuracy lowers the further the platform is away. Right now we're 10 kilometers above the target, and as you might have already guessed, the accuracy decreases exponential the further we go away. So if we're 50 kilometers away, you got a target radius of, I think, a kilometer or something. So it's pretty hard to hit anything. Nonetheless, it's pretty terrifying if some rockets are dropping down on your head and you have no idea where they're coming from, and you have no way to defend yourself against them because they're super fast and the rocket platform is simply too far away. And 10 kilometers is already enough to be out of range of any weapon I know, even the modded weapons. But unfortunately we didn't destroy that. This is quite bad. Actually, I was looking forward to destroy that. So I think we just remove this one and watch the dish fall down on the building. Well, that wasn't really impressive. But okay. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. And I hope I could inspire you to build your own super low budget and low effort orbital rocket platform. As I said, it's not a really high-tech weapon. It works. It works good sometimes, it works bad sometimes, but it works most of the time, I guess. And with a little bit of practice you can quite hit any target everywhere. By the way, they work even better in space, so if you want to blast a space station out of orbit, they are perfectly fine for that. Actually, they're quite accurate in space because no gravity affects the rocket and they fly straight into the target, most of the time, of course. And they're a quite effective weapon against space stations, because you have no range limitations, because the rockets are, as I said, not affected by gravity, and they fly in a straight line most of the time, and are quite good to destroy any space station at any distance. So they're even better at destroying stuff in orbit. But one of the cons is definitely they're not accurate on planets or anything gravity related. And you have to mark the target at first. I heard there's a way to format waypoints, so so you can simply copy and paste them. So you can copy them from this panel, for example, and open up the GPS panel on the terminal, and can create new from clipboard. But I don't know how to format them correctly, and to be honest, I was too lazy to look that up. So if you know how that works, please let me know in the comments. I'd be pretty grateful. And yeah, as I said, I hope you enjoyed my video. And if you liked my video and had some fun, I surely had, just hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I am planning on doing some more Space Engineers videos in the future. In the last time I did mostly LEGO Worlds, because I really enjoy this game. I'm a huge LEGO fan. Yeah, but anyway, goodbye and see you next time in Space Engineers or LEGO Worlds.